What seemed nice when you were a child, but when you grew up turned out to not be so nice. I used to love to play office and shuffle around papers etc. like I was at a job. Now that I actually do work in an office, not so much fun. Laugh out loud. I used to play school teacher as a kid who thought it would be the most fun in the world. I've been doing it for several years for real now, and while I do enjoy it, it's not the same kind of fun. To remind myself, I keep hanging on my classroom wall a photograph of the 6-year-old me explaining something on a child's blackboard.
I always wanted to grow up faster so I could steal some of my mom's really pretty heels. I thought they looked like the prettiest, classiest things and couldn't wait to wear some. Oh, my god, the first time I wore a pair, I about wrecked my knee and twisted my ankle. Never mind the absolute agony my heels were in by the end of the day. Fuck that noise. Eating a whole cake in one sitting. It was the dream. I should have learned from Matilda that it was a nightmare.
Staying up all night. I used to want to stay awake all night and play video games. Now if I'm awake past midnight, it takes me 2 or 3 days to recover. God, I feel this. I cut the webbing between 2 of my toes open on a clamshell as a kid in an area I would not even get in as an adult for fear I would die of septic shock just touching it. Edit, webbing really was the wrong word. People think of ducks when really it is more a slightly larger flap of skin between my big toe and the next one on my feet. Oh god. I just had a flashback to swimming in Lake Erie and whipping handfuls of bottom of Lake Erie sludge at my siblings, and getting it whipped right back at me. It's amazing none of us have died from one of those bacteria, bacterium? That worm its way into your brain and kill you. Like the people who died from using neti pots. But Lake Erie edition. I remember swimming in the massive piles of seaweed that would wash up on the shores of Lake Michigan each summer and thinking nothing of the thousands of insects and splotches of gull crap that filled it as we covered ourselves in it. Adult me shudders in revulsion at the thought. As a kid we used to swim in a pond that was mud at the bottom with areas you knew to avoid due to the leeches and that we would occasionally have to evacuate for a while so my uncle could kill the snapping turtle that had come a-calling. Now my aunt has an above-ground pool 50 from that pond and my spoiled niece and nephew and cousins have no idea what it's like to sink your toes down into that muck. And adult me would avoid that like the plague. My dad brought home lobsters one time. As a kid, it was a magical day. We selected the lobsters, brought them home, and got to play with the forbidden creatures from the grocery store for a while on the kitchen floor. Then, we were set out back, because it was the 90s and that's what happened as a kid, and when we came back, dinner was ready. It took longer than I'd like to admit to connect those dots. Eating fast food and ramen noodles when you want to get old pretty quickly. Getting dizzy. We had an uncle who was tall and strong and would spin us around one by one. We couldn't get enough. I remember after my spin, I'd just laugh as I couldn't keep my balance and watch the world spin. Now, I avoid getting dizzy like the plague. Unlimited ice cream with no one telling me to stop before my stomach hurts. Money. $5 was like $1 million back then. Now I get paid $2,000 and it's gone in bills right away. A popular girl complimented me on my shoes. My mom had just gotten them for me from Old Navy and I thought they were really cool. Were they really expensive? She asked. Were they like? She dropped her voice, $20? I smiled back, thinking it was cool that she must be responsible enough to buy her own clothes, 'cause I certainly didn't in grade 7. I nodded and said they were $19.99, yeah. She smiled and walked away and I was so excited to have been complimented by a person who was not only popular but also a girl, that I wrote about it on my Harry Potter calendar and told my mom that the cool kids liked my shoes. It was earlier this year that I thought back on this nice memory and went wait. More than at the DARE program I had these cartoons in sketchy alleyways that made the possibility of you being attacked for saying no to drugs seem real. Snowstorms. As a kid you're all yay no school. And you get bundled up and go outside and make snow angels and have snowball fights and go sledding and run around the whole goddamn day and come inside and mom has a grilled cheese sandwich and bowl of tomato soup. As an adult, oh fuck I have to shovel the driveway and the goddamn sidewalk? And then having to reshovel the end of the driveway when the plows come by and cover it up. And if you go out in your car there's a bunch of shitheads who only scrape the snow off the front windshield and the others who ignore the fact that road conditions aren't suitable for going 80 fucking mile per hour anymore. I grew up in an extremely religious community that I only later found out had a lot of cult-like features. There were a lot of things that I thought were normal or even kinda great when I was a kid. Turns out television screen isn't actually the devil's device that it uses to enter your body. My mom acting like a teenager/friend. We thought it was awesome as kids. It's not so awesome when you are an adult. Thanks for watching, subscribe and click the bell icon to be the first to watch our videos when we upload, like comment and share.